the last rider of the best Spanish generation of cyclists. He dominated the time trial, the mid-mountain, and above all, the breakaways, the stage hunter. Do you want to know the story of Luis León Sánchez and his 4 victories in the Tour de France? Follow my wheel and I'll tell you. Luis León Sánchez is, without a doubt, one of the greatest Spanish cyclists of the 21st century. The Murcian rider has been, for the last 20 years, a reference within the national and international peloton. Since his debut as a professional in 2003, the Murcian has accumulated an enviable track record. With a great mind for cycling, his slender figure and impeccable riding have made Luis León Sánchez one of the most loved and admired cyclists by fans. The last of the great generation of Valverde, Contador, Purito, etc., has just announced his retirement after an impressive career. A cyclist whose characteristics as a great time trialist has won no less than 4 times the national championship of the discipline didn't prevent him from passing the middle mountain with the best. An excellent off-road racer, perfect for one-day or week-long races. He has achieved a total of 5 stage races, the most outstanding being Paris-Nice in 2009, along with the Tour Down Under in 2005 or the Vuelta a Murcia. His partial victories amount to 47, which shows that we're talking about a special rider. Of all his characteristics, there's one that stands out above the others. It's his intelligence in the race. We're talking about a stage hunter, a cyclist who runs after the peloton as if he was born for it. He always managed to form part of the day's escape, always in the breakaway. His resources, his skill, and of course, his great engine made him a life insurance for his team because, in addition to all this, he won. Luis Le knew how to make the most of his talents on the bike, and during the great tours, he incessantly sought to filter into the breakaway, something he rarely did not achieve. In the 2012 Tour, he was in the day's main break for 14 of the 21 stages. Thus, on the breakaway came the great triumphs of his career, his 4 stage wins in the Tour de France. Luis León Sánchez emerged as one of the young talents trained in the Once team. In 2004, he made his professional debut with Liberty Seguros, debuting with a victory in the time trial of the Clásica de Alcobendas. In 2008, in Kai's Depart team, he achieved his first great victory of prestige. For Luis Le, in his words, the most special. After exceptional teamwork and after having tried to start and be neutralized, the Spaniard, after a final effort of 4 kilometers, with the favorites behind his wheel, entered alone with a handful of seconds ahead of the German Stefan Schumacher and the Italian Filippo Pozzato, who gave way to the chasing group. 6 seconds were enough to look at the sky and remember his deceased brother. Luis León Sánchez thus entered the Tour de France history books. It only took a year to repeat this feat. It was during the 8th stage of 2009, that famous tour won by Contador against his teammate Lance Armstrong. A Pyrenean stage between Andorra and Saint-Giron, with 176 kilometers and hard climbs of Envalira, Col de Port, and Col d'Agnès. After a terrifying battle, the good getaway was finally formed in the Col de Port, with 9 riders, where, of course, Luis León was. On the next ascent, natural selection reduced the group to 4. 2 Spaniards, Luis León Sánchez and Igor Astarloa, Sandy Kazar, and the Russian Efimkin. After several attacks, they reached the finish line together, and taking advantage of his top speed, the Murcian, after the departure of Kazar, overtook his 3 rivals in the sprint to get his second victory in the Grand Boucle.
Bueno, cuidado que vuelve a levantarse Luis León. Vamos Luis Le, va a ganar Luis Le.
Sí, gana,
Segundo triunfo de etapa en el Tour de Francia para Luis León. Sí, yo he ganado.
2 years later, as part of the Rabobank team, Sánchez would win one of the most surreal stages in the French round in recent years. A mid-mountain stage where the Kazakh Alexander Vinokurov abandoned after suffering a fall at kilometer 96, and a few minutes before, Alberto Contador had also gone to the ditch, although he was able to return to the peloton. The breakaway of the day, which came to have 7 minutes of advantage, was formed at kilometer 41. It was made up of 6 riders: Luis León, Flecha, Casar, Thomas Vogler, Hoogerland, and Terpstra of Quickstep team, although the latter was dropped in one of the 8 climbs of the day. At that moment, a car of the race took Flecha ahead, who in the fall dragged Hoogerland to the ditch. His companions hesitated, but it was too late to wait. With the lead at stake, the 3 riders threw the rest and reached the finish line after a very hard day to dispute the stage win and get, in the case of Vogler, the yellow jersey. The Frenchman was the first to start, but the Spaniard, stronger, used his great instincts and, again, sentenced a breakaway, getting his 3rd victory in the Tour de France.
His favourite area here as Luis León Sánchez wins again. He went down the road in Aurillac where the race restarts in 2 days' time. He gets the victory. The clock will start now.
The following year, in the 2012 Tour, there was perhaps his most beautiful and difficult victory. Not because the others were not, but because this time, their escape companions were cyclists of a very high level. None other than, again, Sandy Casar, Gorka Izagirre, Philip Gilbert, and the green jersey, the Slovakian Peter Sagan. But if Luis León Sánchez is who he is, it has been because he beat the best. At the first 60 kilometers, an escape of 11 riders was formed that came to have more than 15 minutes of advantage. With a similar advantage when ascending the last pass, the 40 kilometers that remained until the finish were to be insufficient to neutralize the breakaway. The Murcian imposed a demanding pace on the ascent to reduce the cyclists of the breakaway, although then he gave ground and had to squeeze himself to return to the group. 5 were in the lead: Luis León, Gorka, Sagan, Sandy Casar, and Philippe Gilbert, who would fight for the stage victory. Evidently, with Sagan among them, sprinting was not an option, and Luis León knew it. At 11 kilometers from the finish line, before the marking of his rivals, he managed to surprise them with a brutal attack, and despite the understanding behind, the Murcian quickly got a gap of 40 seconds. Luis León Sánchez again had the necessary intelligence to take advantage of the right moment. Despite the efforts of his pursuers, the Rabobank rider signed alone his 4th victory in the best race in the world, confirming himself as a legend of Spanish cycling.
In the Tour de France, Luis León Sánchez, he won in Aurillac, Saint-Giron, which is down the road, Saint-Flour last year. Now he can add Foix to his list.
Well, the funny thing, Phil, is it's a 2008, 2009. He missed out 2010, but...
From Epic Cyclists, we want to show our admiration for this great rider. Good luck, and above all, thank you. Thank you very much for getting here. If you liked the video, subscribe and click like. And if you want to continue enjoying the best cycling stories, don't miss this.